What's going on, fishy friends? It is a gut check night for Crazy Horse. Long day. I feel every single one of my 47 years right now. I mean, I'm at 37. I'm at long day. It hurts bad. But you know what? It's a gut check night, and I can't be happier to have my man Big Bird waiting in the studio tonight. He joined us in the submarine all the way down 40 leagues below the surface of the Chesapeake Bay for this fantastic show. Before we bring him in, just a reminder, GI jigs, if you love those jigs, it's an awesome jig. Go to their website, enter TFC when you check out, you automatically get 10% off. Also, as a reminder, this channel is fan supported, member supported, just like PBS, but it's personal best service. So we have a TFC Plus, which is additional content with a lot more. It's a great way to support our channel. You go to YouTube on a any kind of computer or an Android phone. For some reason, it doesn't want to work on an Apple device, but Android phone or computer works great. To support us on an entry level, it's $5 a month for a lot of additional content, and we're going to be adding so much more to that. We've already got some wonderful subscribers that have joined that program. Last but not least, once we bring Big Bird in, you guys will ask questions, and the question of the night will get 20% towards a new, not like this one because I got fish guts all over this thing. I've been putting these things to work, but this is a Backyard Custom Rods by Steve Fogel. These things are awesome. This split grip here gives you tons of sensitivity. It's got a lot of backbone in it. He customized it. See, it says, let's see if I can get that in there. Custom built for Grant Crazy Horse Elliott 2022. And he put a little speckled trout in there because he knows I love them specs. But you will get 20% off a Backyard Custom Rods fishing rod with the question of the night. And he makes an awesome fishing rod. So whoever wins, that is a treat. Let's bring in the man of the hour.
You.
Big Bird, how you doing, sir?
Oh, man, loving life. How are y'all?
Doing great, man. I mentioned in the pre-show that beard is looking dapper tonight, brother.
Hey, got to get the red and white hat. Helpers.
Wait, you don't do Santa every year, do you?
No.
But you could. But you could.
Oh no, I've surprised a few people. There's for sure. I break out the suit. There's no doubt. I've been known to ride my Harley down the boardwalk of Ocean City dressed up as Santa Claus. So that's when I get in trouble.
As long as you have those suspenders, as long as you put the big yellow fishman suspenders over the Santa suit, everyone will know who you are.
Yeah, well, I break out a red pair for when I go out as Santa. You know.
There you go. Well, let's jump.
Next month I'll wear the red. I'll wear my red hat next month. It's still Thanksgiving, so.
Got it. Well, I put on the promo for the show that you don't need to get turkey for Thanksgiving. Big Bird will show you how to put a fish on that table.
So I like people catching fish. Yep.
So let's talk about that, man. You sent me a picture of a nice striped bass the other day. How's that fishing down in Ocean City?
It's been kind of slow because the water temperature's still been holding above 60 degrees. Well, I think it was Monday when I got that fish I sent you, the water temperature dropped below 58 degrees. A big school of rockfish were coming through, and it was like every cast. You were hooking up to a 26. I didn't get no keepers, but 26, 27 inchers. The ocean was flat enough for me to be out there with my boat lost time off the south and north jetty of Ocean City. And they were stacked up in there. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much fun. Up by the 50 bridge, they're still getting some nice keepers. I know some boys up there right now. They're on the bridge and they've got a couple keepers tonight. They're up there right now in this weather. And
so Big Bird, with the temperatures kind of staying up like they are, would you say that maybe the night bite where the water cools a little bit in the evening might be a little bit better right now? Or
well, when you're fishing for stripers, they mainly feed at night. When I was growing up, they always told me, "Oh, you'll never catch a rockfish during the day," because they were more of a nighttime fish. But we figured it out how to, catch them during the day. But yeah, the nighttime bite up there on the bridge right now, the boys are saying they're catching the first part of the outgoing tide, which I think tonight was around 7 o'clock. That first part of the outgoing tide before that water really gets ripping through there. And a couple friends of mine are they're calling me and bugging me now, sending me pictures.
Well, unfortunately, you have to be here with us.
Oh no, I hate fishing off that bridge. I've done it as a child. I used to get dropped off. My father would drop me off and say, "Get us some fish, boy." I mean, I'd go up there and back then we didn't even fish for rockfish. We were fishing for trout. We were mainly getting trout, and Captain Monty with the Morning Star and the angler that are going out to the wrecks, they're getting some beautiful flounder, and they've started getting some trout. So they're moving in. This time of year, the speckle and the wheatfish trout move in, and the red drum. Now, I was that the other day when I went out, I wasn't looking for rockfish mainly. I was looking for a red drum or a trout, and I never got one. But then I found a school of rockfish, and I was a 12-year-old kid just pulling one after another.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the water's still around 60 degrees, and that's honestly, also a temperature that on the Chesapeake Bay is also too warm for well, not too warm, but not quite where you want it.
The old timers say 55 is your magic number. I mean, I don't know where that figure came from, but like I said, when that water temperature, I went out the other day, I started out on a spot called the Sandbar, just got a couple dinks, and then I seen the inlet was calm, so I rode out there and the game begun. It was incredible. Every cast. I mean, there was a gentleman on the rock pile of Ocean City, and him and I were laughing at each other just pulling in these fish. He was casting. He actually had one of my Roy rigs, and he was going, "These things are great." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm glad you're catching fish."
Yeah, that must be amazing. Like I can't wait till the moment that I see somebody wearing one of our shirts, on the water that's not a GI jig guy or a BKD guy. But that must be pretty cool to be out in the water and somebody is catching on your lure.
Oh, it tickles me to death. I see them on the 50 bridge. I got people all the time. They raid my pickup truck. They know I got a box in the back of my truck that they can get lures, get the rigs out of. And, it's like like going to the fruit stand on the side of the road. It's the honor system, and nobody's ever really ripped me off bad, but
Yeah, right. But they've gotten you.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned that the water's still 60 degrees, right? So I want to ask kind of a two-part question. The first is, if you got to go fishing tomorrow with the water still warmer, what's your technique? And then the second one is, once that water gets to 55 degrees, is there anything different?
Okay, well, that's a double jointed question, but that's okay. This time of year, when the water starts getting to the 50, 58 to 55 degree temperature, summertime, you're giving a lot of action to the Roy rig. I mean, you're pulling it in, you're twitching it and stuff. This time of year, you're kind of like just letting it dead drift. If you can feel that bottom and then don't even pop it up hard, just kind of lift it up. And the bite in the wintertime is it's so soft. I mean, you swear that the fish are just sucking. They're not even hitting the rope. They've just got it in their mouth, and you feel a little tension. Go ahead and set that hook. You'd be surprised. I mean, the ones I was getting the other day, I was off. The best spot was off the Ocean City jetty, and I was casting upstream, so the incoming tide was bringing it past the jetty, and then there's a ledge there. It drops off that ledge. Well, them rockfish lay down at the bottom of that ledge and keep looking up. And when the Roy rig comes by them, they'll go up and hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But and I was just letting it sit. I lost a couple rigs. I was getting it so close to the bottom that I'm like, oh, that's a snag. But then all of a sudden, and it weren't a hit. It was a bink, a little tap. Set it. I mean, and these were 27-inch. I measured 3 of them out there the other day, and not one broke 28-inch. But catching
27 is a good fish.
Oh yeah, and we're light tackle. We're not using really heavy stuff. We're using lighter tackle and enjoy the fight.
So we got questions rolling in. One from Rodney. How you doing, Rodney? He asks, "What is your favorite lure and color to fish?" Well, that Rodney is exactly what I was about to ask him. Big Bird, we do. We have people maybe watching from all over the country, so this would be a great time to explain the Roy rig and exactly why you made it and how it's set up.
Well, back even before I had a boat, all I did was shore fish and surf fish. A friend of mine who I named the rig after, Roy, he came down to where all us boys, I mean, we worked together, we fished together, we had a great time. And he came down with a Riptide salt and pepper rubber grub. And I fell in love with that grub. But every 1 ounce saltwater grub head had a real long shank hook in it. Well, this is my Roy rig. And when the hook, it would come back past that fin, which limited the motion.
Yeah.
You didn't get much motion. So the main secret I did was I short shanked a 1 ounce head. And when I did it, I messed up really because it's not 1 ounce. It's just under 1 ounce when I was making that mold for it. And you can see the action that it gives that tail. I learned this technique down fishing for bucket mouths in Lake Okeechobee. The bass fishermen down there were all telling me how the predator fish, when they hit your lure, they hit it in the head. They smack it in the head. The bluefish, the rockfish are the same way. When they hit it in the head. So why do you have a hook that's this long? I short shank the hook. So it gives that rubber tail a lot more motion. And that's the whole secret to the Roy rig.
And I think it probably becomes doubly effective when you're somewhere with a lot of current, like the Route 50 bridge.
Yes.
And you just let that thing drift in the current, and it's just, that tail's just moving and moving.
Oh, it's going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't put them on market yet, but I've got a 1/2 ounce. I've done it too. I've short shanked a 1/2 ounce head for the trout and the red drum. I do a lot because
now that when we fish together, I want to get some Roy rigs, but I'd be particularly interested in that lighter weight one because of all the shallow water fishing we do. But before we get to Patrick Glenn's question, how you doing, Patrick? Thanks so much for tuning in. How does someone get a Roy rig?
Well, I mainly carry him into the tackle stores down here. Scott Lennox with Hooked on OC, he does do the where you can buy them from him over the line. I mean, best place to get them is just get up with me when you're down here in Ocean City, and I'll take care. Especially people that never tried them before, I'll hook you right up.
Well,
I like people catching fish, but
what I'm hearing is we need to put them on TFC's website and then pay you when they buy them from us.
Oh, we can work something out. There's no problem.
That'll make it so our viewers that are, we have Rodney from living in the Midwest somewhere. Rodney, I apologize. I can't seem to get that in my head. I think it's Missouri. But we have people down in Florida and Big Bird. I got to tell you that that tail action's really going to be effective anywhere. I mean, especially if you put a 1/2 ounce one, but that 1 ounce would be really good.
I just had a friend of mine call me up. He lives out in Ohio, and the oh, what's the name of that fish? They love them for a certain fish out there. And we were talking about how I short shanked the hook. Now that's a half, and there's the half ounce. I don't know if I can do this. There's the half ounce short shank. You can see the difference in the size of the hook.
Yeah.
How much difference longer it is. You know, I'm like, I short shank it and I use a 4-inch rip type with that, you know.
Okay.
But Scott Lennox on Hooked on OC, he does mail them out. I've got to get back. I've got to get back into doing that, but I'm too busy fishing and making them. So I sit here at my bar all the time and make 1,000 Royd rigs up like it's nothing.
I want to make those available to our viewers, so we'll talk offline about that.
All right.
Patrick Glenn chimes in. He says, do you believe the ocean stripers migrate up the Delaware Bay and cut across the C&D Canal or head south towards Cape Charles and up the bay?
I think they head up towards the C&D Canal. They'll head, well, the people that makes the rules and regulations for our area don't fish down here. They used to tell us we didn't have a year-round rockfish. That's bull. I can catch a rockfish any day of the any month of the year. I can go out and get a rockfish. They spawn up our back creeks here. Everybody says the only place they spawn is up the Chesapeake. That's wrong. Ain't no way. I can go out into February. I can go up to the Route 90 bridge, and it's every cast. I mean, they're just thick up there, but they're not real big ones. But you know, you're still catching fish, so you're having a good time.
Yeah, we got 3 questions rolling in. One from Jake. How you doing, Jake? Good to see you. When it comes to fishing clubs, Big Bird, how does someone like you choose what club is the best?
I like them all. Because, I mean, they all have different speakers. They all have different techniques. I mean, I've gone to freshwater clubs. I've gone to the Atlantic Coast Sportsmen's Association that I am a proud member of. I've won Angler of the Year 3 years in a row, and I've kind of been blackballed. So now Sean that fishes with me, he's getting ready to win it for the 2nd time. And this has all been won on the Roy rig.
That's a great way to spread it out, though. Just give it to your fishing buddy one year and give it to you the next. And just
well, I always tell people I'll give you the first one free a lot of times because then you're going to get hooked on it and you'll be back to buy it because I didn't make it to make money. I made it to get people to catch fish. I mean, I'm part of a resort town, and for that, you know, you're always trying to make the people happy. And to see some 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid hook up to the first fish, that I'm a happy camper. There's no doubt.
We got another question rolling in. Go ahead.
The one thing about the clubs, I like being part of the clubs that fight for your rules because the government would shut down fishing in a heartbeat if they thought they could.
Yeah. We certainly need people to advocate for fishing regulations. That's for sure. You know, one thing that I really encourage people to do is that you see so much infighting with anglers, right? People complaining about who's keeping fish, who's letting fish go, depending on the species. My big thing is stop all that. If you got a problem, go to the guy making the regulations. Like, stop fighting in between each other.
I mean, don't fight with each other because they'll shut. I mean, my biggest gripe is that Ocean City does not have bay regulations. We got ocean regulations, even though we got a bay. We got ocean regulations from 28 inch to 35 inch.
Yeah.
I caught the 53 incher and had to throw it back, and I'm crying about it still. But you know, you catch a fish of a lifetime, I won't bring him home. But I mean, you got to play by the rules because I couldn't afford the $500 fine and lose my boat and the rods and everything. No,
That a couple of those will take away that big check you won last month.
Oh yeah. Talk about the check. I finally got them. I got my brand new hook.
Oh, there you go.
That was the first thing I went out and got because I'm telling you, when you're out there sight fishing, oh man, with these hooked optics, they got that lens in it so you can see through the water. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
So I'm real happy.
We love ours.
The guys hooked me up real good. So
that's awesome. We have time for one more question, Big Bird, and then we're going to go to question of the night. Rome, who's a TFC member, a TFC Plus member. Thank you so much for your patronage on that. He says, "How long have you had that luscious waterfall of a chin curtain, and does it bring you good luck?"
It's funny because a lot of people, I'm the most hated person 11 months out of the year, but let Christmas come around, they want to put their kids in my lap. I mean, but no, I've been growing a beard ever since back in the 80s. I've had it. It's my wife. I don't care about the beard or not. Me, I mean, my wife loves her big Grizzly Adams. So I mean,
Well, I think you got to keep it now. It's part of the whole persona,
I might shave it off for my 60th. I don't know. I keep saying that. I just
nobody would recognize you.
That's right. I'm gonna go out and have fun with it. Walk into places that everybody knows me. I mean, around Ocean City, I'm known around here because of the fishing, and I take a lot of people fishing too. So,
well, let's do the question of the night because we are running out of time. My co-host to my right over here is telling me we are out of time. So, Big Bird, you got a question of the night for us? One that stuck out to you as a really good one?
The one where the fish were running up into the do they run up through the
that was a good one. I believe that was Patrick Glenn.
Yes.
Patrick, you will win the 20% off of a Backyard Custom rod. We will get your information after the show.
He needs to email us. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay. Lady C is going to put it in the chat how you to email us your information. One last thing before we let everyone go. I forgot to mention in the pre-show, the Fishing Channel is running a special on these shirts. You'll see Lady C's here in a second. But it's this redfish shirt here with the GI jigs, or I'm backwards here, BKD and GI jigs on the sleeves. So this one and our rockfish shirt are how much for the? It's like buy one, get the second half off, right?
Yes, $20 off, so it's
$59.99. $59.99 for both shirts. It's a great deal. Get them at www.thefishingchannel.net. Patrick, we'll get you your prize. Any last words, Big Bird, for us?
I'm waiting on for you guys to come down and go fishing.
Yes.
It's got to be soon, brother. It's got to be soon.
It's only gonna get better. I've talked to the boys up in New Jersey and New York, and with this big cold that hit them, the fish stacked right up. They're heading down. The rockfish are coming down, the bluefish and the rockfish. So,
man, Jersey had one heck of a year this year for rockfish, didn't they?
Yeah, I heard.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching. Let me get Patrick's question off. As much of an amazing question as it was, where is it? You got it. Thank you. We got the next is Chris Tweedy for the South Carolina Inshore Report. Thanks so much, Big Bird. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.
Later, guys.